Hello everyone, it's your favorite fading memory. And today I want to talk about uh nostalgia. I've been feeling really nostalgic recently. Um I guess you could say that it started with this animation of Madame Butterfly, which I'll leave in the description. I shared it on my community post the other day, but yeah, it's just um an animation that I used to watch a lot as a teenager when I was first getting into classical music and opera. And when I was poor, and during that time, my mom was sending money for us to have internet because it was the early 2010s, and by that point, um, you needed the internet to do a lot of school stuff. Of course, I barely did. That's a different story. Your boy was lazy in middle and high school, but but yeah, so it allowed me to regularly have internet again and not have it for 3 or 4 months or 5 months or whatever and then get it cut off because I lived with my dad and yeah, I just remember coming back home from school, and there were days where either really early in the morning or right after school I would go home and I would look up that animation and just over and over and over again. um and it just brought back a lot of really warm memories, and it you know got me thinking about nostalgia as something that we engage in as human beings. And honestly, I don't think, especially for my generation, the zillennial gap generation, there's been really um a time where nostalgia has been more at the forefront of our society, which has with as many like things or aesthetics from that time period, the mid to late 2000s to the early 2010s, as we label, whatever core, your mom core, older brother core, and Frutiger Aero, Frutiger Metro, all of the different, and on one level I understand because nostalgia, I don't know if I'm the only one, but nostalgia kind of gives me hope, right? That if not the same uh periods of times will recur, like the feelings associated with those, um then similar times, right? Especially since, bro, I know boomers might disagree, but like, to be honest, boomers lived through a period of economic prosperity that no other generation has really had since. And I'm sorry, no, guys, it wasn't your hard work. It was the hard work of your parents and grandparents, and the context surrounding the end of the second world thing, because I can't say the other word, that happened. um And if you don't believe me, look up the delta the like disparity between productivity and real wage growth, bro. Like adjusted for inflation, it's gonna make you sad. Um. But yeah, I mean, especially since most of us were kids during that time, and we didn't have the responsibilities that we do now, it's natural to sort of look back nostalgically on that. Even if you were in my case, and this is where, like, nostalgia is kind of a trick because your boy was poor, guys. Like, I grew up during that time in Holiday, Florida, guys, and not the nice parts of Holiday. I'm talking like I grew up next to a bar and a liquor store and like you know, my neighborhood was known and is still known for people ODing and for having lots of sales of particular substances. And bro, I'm just gonna be honest, in the United States, if your neighborhood it has either any easy access to liquor usually and a Metro PCS store or like Boost Mobile or any of those prepaid whatever, I it's I'm sorry, it's over for your neighborhood. It really is. Like, um, but during the summers when I went with my mom, it wasn't much better. Like, I grew up in Langley Park, Maryland, bro. That's another, or as I like to call it, La Nueva República Federal de Centroamérica. Because it was like 80% Latino, including my family, right? Because we're originally from Guatemala. That's where I was born. And, like, you know, I have nostalgia for there too. But at the same time, like, I still remember my mom and dad in both those places working their butts off. Um, and, you know, being kind of food insecure, not eating good food, eating. And I mean, here's the thing, yes, fast food is technically more expensive for sure. But when, think about it this way, guys, and this is what middle class, upper middle class, and upper class white people don't understand about being poor. If you've just finished like a 12-hour shift and you come home, and I was raised with my dad in Florida, and you know, you're drained, you don't want to cook and stuff a lot of the time. That doesn't mean that my dad didn't cook for us, he did. um you know, you're gonna pick up Burger King, McDonald's, KFC, or whatever it is many times a week, even if that's not the most healthy. Or in the case when the Great Recession was happening, huevos con frijoles, huevos con salchicha. A certified classic for sure, but not exactly a varied or healthy diet, right? So um yeah, guys. Yeah, guys. Um what can I say? And also, you know, once again, not having internet, living around um a dangerous crime riddled, substance riddled area, nostalgia causes us to not really think about those things and to not really, it narrows our perspective really, and because like, it's not the full picture of what we were living back then. And I say we to include the entire audience too, because I'm pretty sure there are examples, even if you um didn't grow up poor, excuse me, and a disabled migrant like me or whatever, I'm pretty sure there are things that your mind. I mean, we know, like, it's a proven fact that memory isn't as reliable as we think it is, right? Like, false memories get made, stories get conflated. Um, just look at witness testimony, right? Everyone has their own perspective on the same event, and it's like, it's a prosecutor's job to try to put that together and like make a case, and a defense lawyer too, but it's stuff like that, right? It's like we, I think, sort of tend to kind of weirdly, for certain things, overestimate the usefulness of memory, at least when it comes to ourselves. I think obviously writing is a little bit better, but also, um not to say that oral transmission isn't important. It's just, we have to be honest about its drawbacks. Um and I think nostalgia is a part of that, because the thing is, if I really think about it materially, where I am now, um, you know, is much better than where I was. Like, where I am now is much better than Langley Park, Maryland, or the Hispanic neighborhoods of Silver Spring, or the 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 place in Holiday where I live, like, Holiday, Florida, and or near Tampa, wherever, and it's like, yeah, definitely. Um, you know, I there are still some things that I have to work on for sure, especially this Edgar cut. No, I'm just trying, but But yeah, I mean, I have consistent access to things that I really didn't back then. And, you have to be aware of nostalgia, you know. Let it give you hope for sure, but definitely be aware that it's never the full picture, ever. Alright, see you guys. Bye.